With me today is my friend Vita. Hi, Vita.
Hi, how are you?
Great. I'm so happy that you're on the show again.
I'm excited to be here. And you know what I'm really excited about? Hearing about all the work you've had done. I cannot wait to talk to you about this because I feel like there's so much to be said.
There's so much to be said.
Okay, so what would you say is the procedure you're the happiest with?
I'm happiest with my facelift. And the reason for that is because I did the facelift when I was 47.
Okay.
I feel like you get the best results and you look the most natural when you get the facelift done in your 40s. Because then in the future, you're able to maintain just by a little bit of filler, a little thread here, one thread there, and nothing too, invasive or extensive.
Let's talk about the facelift because I think a lot of women want to get a facelift,
Yes.
and there's a lot of concern because it's major surgery, right? So how did they do your facelift? Like what kind of facelift did you get? I know there's a couple different kinds.
So I got the temporal lift along with the mini facelift.
What does that mean?
What a mini facelift is, it's just removing the skin and lifting through the tissue in this part of my face. And then a little bit of the neck lift was included. So it's just the lower part of the face.
Where are the incisions?
And the incisions are, he used a lot of little sutures.
Oh my God, you can't even see
can't-
it.
So
you literally can't tell.
To prevent scarring. So you really can't see any incision.
Is there any incision under?
Not
Let me
really.
see. I don't see anything.
No,
He did a really good job.
he did a great job. And
Yeah.
then I did a temporal lift. So
What's that?
his philosophy was, because when I went in originally, I said, no, I just want the mini facelift. That's all I need. And he's like, no. Because if I don't do this part, but I lift this part, it's going to look weird. He's like, you might have like permanent like lines here. So he did both. Even if I didn't exactly need a lot, the facelift was great. The only part of the facelift that was a little bit painful was the temporal lift because I had a headache. So that was a little bit painful. The rest of the facelift was fine. My recovery was great. I actually went to Barney's for lunch. The procedure
remember
was
the
done in New
video.
York. So I went to Barney's. I had on a big hoodie and I had drains because you put drains in for the first 24 hours. And I was so hungry after my husband at the time picked me up from the procedure.
That was nice of him. He took
was so
you.
nice of- he
Look
took
at that.
me.
See, he was present sometimes.
He was present sometimes. And we went to Barney's. So of course they put me in the back of the restaurant because I looked like a crazy person. And I walked
Did you
in.
have a reservation or were you a walk-in?
I walked in and I said, can I get a table for two? And they looked at me and they're like, yeah. And they put me in the back of the restaurant.
Like what was going through your head the morning of the facelift? Were you like, holy, I'm about to cut my face?
No, I
mean,
was
that's
so
your
excited.
moneymaker.
I was so excited. I was so happy to do this and I loved my doctor. So I went to Dr. Dracono, who's in New York. I found him by extensive before and after photos, looking on the internet. I did such a long search for a couple of years actually. So I was just looking at every surgeon, the before and afters, and his were so impressive that I thought, okay, if I'm getting a facelift, he's the guy.
Do you mind me asking how much did it cost?
At the time, it was $34,000, and that's because my husband negotiated a lower price.
Another win for the ex.
Another
look
win.
at this. Showed up and negotiated
yes,
a sale.
negotiated, so which was very reasonable. Now the same facelift was probably $150,000.
So for people out there that are really considering doing this, and obviously it's a big step, right? What do you suggest their first, like you get this idea, I want a facelift. Like what's your first thing you should go do?
What I think all women should do starting in their 30s is to start a facelift fund. I don't believe that people should wait past the age of 50 because you're not going to look as natural as you would look if you get the facelift in your 40s. I probably will have to repeat this again at some point because nothing lasts forever. A lot of women are under the misconception, oh, I got the facelift once, I'm fine. I don't have to do Botox anymore. I don't have to do filler. I don't have to do threads. That's completely false.
So how often do you go see an actual surgeon for a consult? Do you do that on the reg or do you just
Not
look in
at all.
the mirror?
So I
and-
did this with Dr. C. He's in Miami, and that was recently. So I thought, okay, maybe I should go for a consultation because it's been 7 years, almost 8 years. And he laughed at me and basically kicked me out of his office. He's like,
But that's a good doctor.
That's a good doctor.
I hate these doctors that it's a money grab. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, you look at these young girls that go into these doctors' offices, and it's like, come on, stop taking their money.
No, it's
They're like
bad.
25. They don't need to be cut.
I don't think any nobody under the age of 35 should even get filler. I think that you shouldn't even start that process until you're at least
Okay,
in
what
your
if,
30s.
question though, what if you have really thin lips?
The lips are different. I'm
Right?
talking about the
Yeah.
face.
I mean, I
The
don't
lips-
get filler.
no.
I'm petrified of
Yeah,
filler.
the lips
I
are
don't
different.
get it.
I feel like the lips are
But
different.
yeah, I
it's
think
a fine line.
There's some people also like the filler nose job. Like I think there's
That's
some
different.
people that
I'm
like,
talking about the face.
Like the
Yeah, and
Do you
nothing
think I
more.
need one yet?
No.
Okay, you'll tell me that.
I will.
Oh, I'm, sure
I'm
you
very
will.
honest.
Yeah, please tell me. And that you need an honest friend, right? I think you need an honest friend that's going to tell you when you need it and when you don't need
Yes.
it.
No, I'm very
Because there's
honest.
two sides
because
to
I
that.
have viewers now that will message me and I set up FaceTime calls with them and they'll ask me my honest opinion of what can they do to enhance or, look better. And I'm completely 100% honest with them.
So that said, during our facelift conversation, you discussed fat transfer. What's a fat transfer?
So fat transfer is when you take fat from another part of your body and you transfer it, let's say to your face or to your butt or to a private part or to your hands. Like you can pretty much transfer it any place else. So a lot of women, I didn't need a fat transfer, but a lot of women who are older, like let's say you wait until you're in your 70s, they've lost so much fat in their face. So the surgeon's gonna include a fat transfer along with the facelift. And most of the time they'll do a CO2 laser as well, which is a very extensive laser to resurface the skin. So they're gonna include that as well.
So 2 questions from that actually. First, do you know if a fat transfer metabolizes? Like if you lose weight, will you
Yes.
burn that fat or is that fat permanently affixed to you?
It's not permanent. And that's,
that's
the
a
issue.
lot of work.
Well, that's the issue with fat transfers because you don't know how your body's metabolizing the fat. So for example, one side of your face could maintain the fat while the other side doesn't, and then you're uneven. That's why I like filler. I like Radiesse better than Sculpture, better than a fat transfer because you can gauge it. With Radiesse, if they put too much in, you can remove it.
Yeah, like I know somebody that got bubbling from their fat
Yeah.
transfer. And it's horrible. There's
Horrible.
no way of getting rid of
There's
it
no way of
because you
getting rid of
can't
it.
dissolve it.
It's something permanent for at that moment. You have to wait for it to dissolve.
So, and I think there's a lot of people that do fat transfer in lieu of breast aug these days, which I personally think like if you're gonna get your boobs done, get your boobs
No, I would
done.
never do that.
Like why would you why would you do that? And you have to get lipo in order to do it. And then once you get lipo, you can get pockets, right?
Well, that,
Have you done lipo?
Yes, and the skin sags. So there are 2 procedures that I've done that I regret the most. One was liposuction in my stomach and my knees.
What happened?
The liposuction in my stomach was a disaster. We took out fat that I knew better. I should have just gone to the gym religiously and changed my diet, but instead I was taking the easy way out. And my skin sagged really bad. So even after pregnancy and gaining 60 pounds, I did not need a tummy tuck. But now all of a sudden I do liposuction in my stomach and I need a tummy tuck.
One alternative to lipo is like all this fat freezing, right? Cool sculpting, all that. What's the deal with that?
I don't think it works. The best thing that you can do is to change your diet, pay attention to eating more protein, counting your calories, and doing weight training.
So we've talked a lot about, these doctors who let these people do these procedures that they don't need, but let's go back to the person. Like, when is enough enough? When do you think you need to stop doing all of this work?
It's a fine line. So I think that it's okay to do as many procedures as you want, as long as you look natural. And as long as you're going to the right doctors. A big part of that would be when you're looking for a surgeon, let's say for a facelift, you want to go to somebody who specializes in facelifts. You don't want to go to that doctor that does facelifts and mommy makeovers and tummy tucks and breast augmentations. You want to go to a specific person where they're doing 300 facelifts in a year. And that type of surgeon is what you should be looking for. You should also look for the reviews, the before and after photos, and really find the right person for you and someone who actually thinks that you need the procedure and not somebody that just wants to take your money. And I feel like a lot of people, when they start to look unnatural and they go overboard, they're not going to the right doctors because the right doctor wouldn't touch a person after they've already had, 1 or 2 facelifts unless they absolutely needed it.
When you're deciding what's too much, what's the end goal here? Do I want to look like a refreshed, not tired, younger version of myself? Or do I want to look like this version of myself on a Snapchat filter?
Right, because this is the thing, like if you want to look like a version of yourself on Snapchat or an AI app, then you are going to go overboard because you're going to go see a doctor and you're going to want so much filler in your face to look so youthful that it's going to change the shape of your face. And that's when people start to look like overdone, puffy. Their eyes start to change more like a cat than, regular eyes. And that's what happens because you're changing the structure of your face so much to look that much more youthful, but it actually has the reverse effect. Everything that we're talking about today is actually in my book. So I feel like anybody that's interested in any of the procedures that we're speaking about or other procedures, beauty treatments as well, they're in this book. They're experts in the book that explain each procedure step by step. And it's very informative as well as humorous. So if you're looking for an easy, fun read and you want to know more about any procedure or beauty treatment, the book is available on Amazon and it's called From Bullshit to Botox. If you're loving this podcast, do me a favor, subscribe, share it with your friends, and help grow our Parties Over crew. We'll be right back.